If only I made more money, I'd suddenly know how to spend it better. I'd suddenly gain some money management skills, and suddenly I would have savings. I'd be out of debt. Very seldom does that happen, because if you don't know how to manage $15,000 a year, you won't know how to manage $150,000 a year. Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. My name is Lena Lore. If you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. On this channel, we talk a lot about personal development and personal finances. So if you enjoy conversations like that, definitely subscribe and join the party. So in today's video, we are going to be going over another how I spend my income type of videos. This one's over at Glamour again. You guys told me about CNBC, and I'll definitely be doing more reaction videos because I love the conversations that we got popping down in the comments. I love that we're able to openly discuss finances. I guess the conversation started about finances and how we spend money and things of that nature. So I'm really excited to do this one today. Today we're going to be reacting to how this barista spends her $15,000 salary. So I thought this one was perfect. Ever since I watched the millionaire one, this one keeps popping up in my recommended. I haven't watched it yet, but I thought it would be perfect because it's the complete opposite of a very abundant salary, if you will. We're going from 1.3 million and this one's 15,000 a year. So I'm really excited to see how this one goes. I would love to know you all's comments as we're going through this down in the comment section below. But also, all I ask is that we are quite respectful in the comments because she is a human just like you. And the simple fact that she even shared her income for public consumption for us to analyze and speak about is very respected. So I have nothing but respect for it at the end of the day. So let's just be mindful when we're commenting, you know, let's be nice. Let's be nice. Okay. But also, let's be real when it comes to the salary and the spending. Let's just get some conversations down in the comments. Let's talk. Let's see what you guys think. What are you guys thinking about this? Let's analyze. Okay. Also, if you haven't already, hit that like button because it really helps with the algorithm. It helps with these videos. So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button.
I'm a part-time barista and I make about $15,000 a year and looking for full-time work. I've got about $1,500 in savings. So my general relationship with money, I definitely wish I had more. It would definitely make living in New York easier, but I do feel like I spend too much and I need to get better at saving for sure.
Okay, so right off the bat, first thing I noticed is that she lives in New York City. I thought she was gonna say, I don't know, maybe like some sort of city in Texas or like somewhere out in the boonies, but New York City is a metropolitan city, and from my understanding, it's much like the cost of living here in Toronto, which is very, very high. So I'm so curious as to how she's making $15,000 for her entire year and she's living in New York City. This is really interesting. I'm interested to see how this goes. She's probably super, super frugal and maybe living at home still and maybe a student as well. I'm not sure, but I do hear that she's like, I wish I made more money. That makes sense because with $15K a year, it might be a little bit difficult to just do day-to-day activities in New York City. But also, I don't like that she said she wishes, because I feel like when it comes to money, you don't wish on money. You strategically make money. Money comes to you, you're a money magnet if you want to be, but you don't wish for it. You kind of have to work for it and strategically place yourself in positions to get it. I hope she is actively putting herself into positions to make that money because she wants more of it, clearly. So if she wants it, she can get it. She just has to be strategic about how she goes about doing that.
I have about $400 in an investment app and $50 in my debit savings account. The rest of my savings is at home stashed because if not, I would definitely spend it if it was in my bank. I have a little roll and I have it like in a little just like a little black bag, and I keep it in my drawer. Foolproof. I do not touch it. I do not think about it. I have 5.
Okay, hold on a second. I love the fact that she's self-aware enough to say, if I had it in my possession on a day-to-day basis, I would probably spend it. So I love the fact that she's honest with herself, because that's one thing we need to do when we're talking about our personal finances. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your spending habits. And she did mention she has a bad spending habit. I'm glad that she recognizes, okay, I need to put this money away so I don't see it. But the fact that it's cash, I think that she could probably put it in a tax-free savings account or a high interest savings account, and then just ask her bank to not include it on her like apps, or if you tell your bank you're trying to save, a lot of banks will help you with your saving goals. So for my TFSA, I can only take money out of it if I physically go to the bank, and it doesn't even show up on my banking app. So I don't even notice that I have that money. I don't include it into my day-to-day savings. When I'm analyzing how much money is in my account, I barely even recognize that money that's in there because it doesn't show up on my app. That's just the way that that account is set up. So if you were to go to your bank and say like, hey, I have a spending habit that I'm trying to break and I want to put money in this account, but I don't want to be able to touch it, they have options available for you. They'll tell you which accounts that you have to physically go into the bank to take money out of, which accounts you have to like maybe sign for in order to get money out of. There are options. So just talk to your bank about it so that there are ways that you can still accumulate interest on your savings without being tempted to take it out. It's $1,000, so the interest that would yield from $1,000 at a bank is probably not that high anyways. It wouldn't make or break. It's not like, oh, she'd be able to pay her rent or pay her car note with the interest on $1,000, but it's a start. It's starting somewhere. But also, if that method of putting it in a plastic bag works for her, then kudos to her.
$1,700 in credit card debt, $700 in personal credit card debt, and then $5,000 in a shared credit card with my mother. I try to pay it off monthly if I have it, and if I don't, then I won't. My mom kind of takes care of the other one, which I'm very fortunate. If I have spare cash monthly, I'll try to contribute to hers.
Wait a minute. The problem with this is that you cannot not pay your credit cards. Like, that is not okay ever. Even if you have to pay the minimum payment on that and it's 100% interest, you can't just not pay your credit card statements every month, because that demolishes your credit and you're not going to be able to make any financial moves in the near future if you're doing that. That is one of the worst things you could possibly do. You need to pay off your debt first before you pay for anything else. Also, the fact that it's $5,700 in debt, and it's not debt like a car loan or a student loan or a mortgage, it's 5.7 in credit card debt. If you really take it in, that's more than a third of her salary in credit card debt. At the same time, I'm not really too shocked by it, because $15,000 a year in New York, I guess I should have expected this, because how are you living at $15,000 in New York without credit card debt? A tip to anyone who's watching, please don't ever not pay your credit card statement balance or your credit card payment. At the very least, pay the minimum payment every single month. Please don't just like not pay your credit cards. That's like no bueno.
With my current paycheck, I have about $1,000 to spend monthly. I just moved out of my parents' house, so month to month paying rent by myself is definitely a lot harder than living with my parents. Here's where my money.
There's just so much going on here, and it's a lot to decipher. I'm hearing I make $15,000 a year. I'm also in credit card debt. I have $5,700 in credit card debt. I have $1,000 left over to spend, and I also moved out of my parents' home. And it's just a lot. So here's the thing. To anyone who still lives at home, so long as your current living situation is healthy and safe, you must stay at home. Do not move out. You should definitely not be moving out of your parents' home unless, number one, you have a good amount of savings, and two, you have a steady cash flow that's coming in and you're comfortable with moving out. I promise you, it'll save you so much stress and anxiety when it comes to your finances. Moving out prematurely is one of the worst things that you can do to your finances. I know people in their 30s who are still trying to catch up and be at a place of financial comfort or financial independence because they moved out too early. Now, that isn't to say that it's impossible to be at a comfortable place with your finances if you move out too early. I'm just saying that it's so much more difficult and it takes so much longer. So with making $15,000 a year in New York and then you move out of your parents' home, I'm wondering why. I hope it's not because she was just antsy and she just wanted to move out and live a big girl lifestyle or something like that, because life will humble you really quick if you decide to move out prematurely. I personally think that wasn't a great move to make in regards to her finances. She probably should have stayed at home, saved up, chipped away at that debt, and wouldn't have to worry about things like rent, electricity, utilities, maybe parking, groceries, all that stuff, you save a lot of money if you stay at home a little bit longer and you kind of just humble yourself. I know everyone wants to move out and live big girl lifestyle, big boy lifestyle, and be on their own, be independent, but are you actually financially ready? Think about it. If you're not at a place financially to do that, you shouldn't do that. Don't focus on what everybody else is doing with their stages of life. Focus on yourself, focus on your own personal finances. And if anything, use that as motivation to really get your finances together. If you're really trying to leave your parents' home, use the fact that you don't want to be there anymore as motivation. Don't just wake up one day and move out, because sometimes the financial damage that you do to yourself is irreversible or takes forever for you to get out of, and you don't want to find yourself in a compromising position and now you're doing any and everything for money or just to make ends meet.
$350 a month on rent and utilities. I have a shared room in an apartment in the Bronx. I have 2 other roommates and I live with my boyfriend. I spend $15.88 on monthly subscriptions. $150 to $200 a month on car expenses. I do feel like my car is an essential part of my daily life because it saves me a lot of money on transportation. This gas is crazy right now. It's real. Right now it's like really expensive.
In terms of car expenses, I feel like this is actually pretty decent. I'm not sure how much Metro passes cost, especially out in New York, but I feel like it'd probably be similar to that amount a month, and then also the convenience of it all. So this is her car expense, her maintenance, her insurance, and her gas all together. So I think that's a pretty decent amount. So kudos to her for having that low car expense. Also, her rent is pretty low too in New York. Like, that's pretty amazing. She does have a shared room though, so I guess she splits it between her and her boyfriend, and then they also have roommates. I think her rent and her car expenses are not too bad. Does she need the Apple Music and Adobe Creative Cloud? I'm not sure. Like, for me personally, like, I don't even have Apple Music. I like limit myself to monthly subscriptions. I really don't use things like that. I listen to music on a regular basis. I'm a music fanatic, but I just don't have any music subscriptions because I just don't feel like I need them. So if it was me, I probably wouldn't have this subscription, but hey, it's $15 a month, and if it's essential to her day-to-day living and it helps her to live a greater quality of life mentally, then go for it.
That leaves about $325 for other expenses. I don't consider myself frugal. There's some weeks that I will watch what I'm spending. Some weeks that I'll just go to Sephora, I'll go online shopping, and I'll just spend like a bunch of money. Not smart. Here's my last.
I feel like with her having $350 to spend, a portion of that should go into her savings. So let me go back. So she did her rent, her subscriptions, her car expense, her personal savings, and then $325 to spend. What you should do if you're trying to get out of debt is consider those debt payments essential and put it as part of your I must pay this every month. So you must pay your rent or you're gonna be homeless. You must pay your car expense or it's gonna get repoed. Put your debt in there as well. You must pay your debt as well so that you can slowly start to chip away at that debt. She has $325 to spend and she's saying she goes to Sephora. And like, we all love a good makeup product, self-care product, a nice face mask and whatnot, but when you're in debt and making $15K a year, you have to learn how to be comfortably frugal. That's the key word here. Let's take that away. Comfortably frugal is the word. Do you need to stop completely shopping for makeup? No, makeup makes you happy, but do you need to buy it from Sephora? No, go to NYX. They have great qualities and it's cheap and the products last just as long as some of the products at Sephora do. Maybe you should shop for makeup at NYX. Try drugstore products. Try e.l.f., okay? You don't need to be shopping at Sephora if you are making $15K a year, you're looking for full-time salary, and you're in debt.
Not smart. Here's my last debit card statement. Largest purchases. Easy Pass, $130. Easy Pass is for bridge tolls in New York. Whenever I'm traveling to and from my dad's house from the city, I'll just replenish it based on what kind of money I have at the moment. Apple Pay, $151. These were tires that I had to buy for my car. My dad, he's a car whiz, he knows everything, so I told him, pick up the tires that are best for my car and I'll just like Apple Pay you them.
Okay, so I thought that the whole maintenance was $150 to $200 when it came to her car expenses. I thought car expenses included maintenance, it included this easy pass and things like that, but it clearly doesn't, because now she's added another $150 and $130, so that's $280 that she's just added to her car monthly budget, and it's like, that's even more expensive. So maybe she should consider getting a train pass or a bus pass if these expenses keep on adding up.
The money. Sprinkles cupcakes, 71. I got a bunch of cupcakes for my friend for her birthday. She didn't want to do anything for her birthday, so I wanted to do something nice.
How? Wait. $71 for cupcakes? Me as a cupcake connoisseur, I can't even justify paying $71 for cupcakes. That is wild to me. And I crave cupcakes all day, every day. Like, I love a good cupcake, but $71 for cupcakes doesn't make sense. And she's saying that was even for a friend. So she went above and beyond for her friend, who maybe didn't even ask for this, because she said her friend wasn't even feeling to do anything for her birthday and she wanted to do something nice. She wanted to, like, maybe surprise her or something, but like, the cupcakes at the grocery store weren't good enough. You could have got that Betty Crocker in a box. It's like $1. You could have got some icing, that's also $1, and made some cupcakes for your friend. You could have got the ones in a carton. You know, they had the cupcakes in a carton. They're nice too. They have some nice ones. It's like $5 for 4. Like, those weren't good enough. $71? You could have gone to the bakery section in the grocery store, and you know, they let you like individually pick them out. If you're in Toronto, they got some at Metro, Fortino's. Like, that's crazy. $71, that's wild. I'm flabbergasted by this, because she doesn't have the budget for $71 for cupcakes. That's $71 she could have put it towards her $5,000 debt. As a matter of fact, she could have spent $10 on cupcakes and then put $60 of that towards her credit card debt, which is also accumulating interest and growing exponentially if she's not tending to it.
Family Dollar for $3. Van Gogh mini vending for $10.88. Hanes $20.93. I was buying my boyfriend underwear because he needed new ones, so it was kind of a gift. Dunkin' Donuts $11.98. This is probably like a bacon chipotle sandwich. Really good. I'm a barista, but I don't like caffeine. Dwayne Reed $27.85. HSN $19.99. I bought my best friend Beats earbuds for Christmas in December, so it was like a payment plan. Broadway.
First of all, I want to know what's going on in this friend group. Getting all these gifts that we can't afford. $71 for cupcakes. Now we're buying Beats earbuds. I'll be damned if my friend buys me $250 earbuds for Christmas and she doesn't have the budget for it. She needed to go on a payment plan for it and put $20 down on, like, I don't know how much those earbuds were, but I think Beats are like $250 at least. Jay-Z said, if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it, or something along those lines. I completely agree when we're not talking about larger purchases like mortgages or things like that. In this scenario, she couldn't even afford to buy it once, let alone twice. So I would say this was definitely not a good idea. If I found that my friend couldn't afford to buy me Beats but bought it for me anyways for Christmas, I would tell them, send it back right now. Like, what are friends for if they're gonna make you go into debt to buy gifts? That is no bueno. You need to learn how to put yourself first, put your finances first. I hope she's not doing this just for, you know, appearances and trying to seem like the friend who's got it all together. Don't worry about it, sis. I'm gonna get you these expensive earbuds for Christmas. It's like, no, you need to put yourself and your finances first, and a good friend would not make you feel guilty or make you go into debt to give them a gift. And if your friend is pressuring you to get them something for Christmas or for their birthday, that's probably not your friend. You might want to start distancing yourself, because that is crazy. To go on a payment plan to give a gift is an absolute no-no. I don't like this at all. I don't like it one bit.
Diner $42.60. Cash withdrawal $60. I use my card for the most part. I don't take out too much cash just because I feel like if I have it again, I'm gonna spend it. TGA $35.17. My most frequent purchases are fast food, transportation, and Amazon. I do spend a lot of money on fast food just because it's easy, it's convenient, I'm always on the go, and I don't have too much time at home to like cook and things like that. I do get takeout a lot. Transportation is definitely one of the biggest things that I spend my money on. I've recently have been taking Uber a lot because my car was involved in an accident. It was hit while it was parked, so I had to get it fixed. When my car was in the shop, it was really crazy. I definitely felt that money a lot more because it's like constant. I buy a lot of hair products from Amazon. I actually have this like deep conditioner for my hair that I use, my bonnets that I sleep in from Amazon. iTunes, $4.94. Quick Pay, $249.94. I went to Cancun for my birthday, so I think my friend bought the package around that time. So I think I gave her like half of it then, and then the other half later. PayPal, $46.08. I think these are actually American Eagle jeans. I think in the winter time I spent like a few hundred just like shopping, but like I get it out of my system. Like I do it once for the season, and I'm like I won't touch it. So.
Okay, so she keeps laughing when she talks about her finances, and I don't think she's laughing because she doesn't care. I feel like it's a nervous laugh. A lot of people do that, like, oh, this is awkward, I'm gonna laugh. Like, it's just a nervous habit. I feel like she's nervously giggling at her spending habits because she knows this sounds crazy. Also, you guys have probably heard of emotional eating. When you're going through stuff, you just emotionally eat, you have cravings and everything like that. There's such thing as emotionally spending, and I feel like she is emotionally spending a lot, and that's something a lot of people don't speak about. Like, her just saying, oh, I have to shop at Sephora, oh, I just had to buy these jeans, and I had to do this, and I just had to. It, to me, sounds like she is emotionally spending, because all of these purchases 100% could have gone towards her debt. These sound like a lot of emotionally spending purchases.
Online transfer, 50. PayPal, 48. Quick Pay, 19. 11, 14. 80. 120. 50, 25, 5, 17. A lot of these quick pays are actually me covering my boyfriend when he overdrafts his account. I hate having cash and he loves having cash, so he'll literally take all the cash out of his account. The other day I had to call Chase and like pretend to be him to get him his money back. That overdraft fee, they charged him twice, so I got him his money back. I tell him all the time, I'm like, there's no point in you having all this cash. He's a Libra, they don't listen.
You're bad with money, and so is your man. It sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, in my opinion. He's constantly overdrafting and you have to cover him. Constantly take money out, take money out, take money out. It's like they both have bad spending habits. That's a little scary because you tend to hold each other accountable when you're in a relationship. So if they both have a terrible relationship with money, they're just kind of enabling each other. And he's constantly going into overdraft. She's covering him. She's spending more money than she should be spending. It's a tennis match of bad spending habits. And I think that they should both hold each other accountable and go on a challenge to become financially literate and financially independent together. Those two could potentially be someone's parents one day, and if both your parents have a bad relationship with money, then you teach the kids bad spending habits. Then it's a cycle of bad spending habits from generation to generation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the sound of that.
So, here are my most unusual purchases. Spot dessert bar, $13.50. This is awesome for desserts. Super good. They make amazing cheesecake. Fairy Lice Mothers, $15. A year and a half ago, I got lice. I don't know. Do you see this hair? I don't know how I got it. It took me like months, and then like it was a hot mess. I have like so much anxiety from that. Like every few months, like it was so traumatic. It's like different getting it as an adult. It's crazy. Like you always feel like something's in your hair, scratching you.
Yeah, that was really random, but I can only imagine going through something like that as an adult. Even as a kid, probably it'd be traumatic, but that was really random for them to include that little blurb in there. That's funny.
I feel like once I can land like a stable job where I make like a decent amount of money, I can focus on saving like larger sums. And if I did have more savings, I definitely would look into buying a new car, because there are problems that come with a used car. And yes, an apartment without roommates would be easier. So that's where my money goes each month.
I don't like that because I feel a lot of people say that, like, if only I made more money, I'd suddenly know how to spend it better. I'd suddenly gain some money management skills, and suddenly I would have savings. I'd be out of debt. Very seldom does that happen, because if you don't know how to manage $15,000 a year, you won't know how to manage $150,000 a year. She said if she gets more money, she's gonna move out into a more expensive place. She's gonna get a new car. This is called lifestyle creep. As your income increases, so does your lifestyle. You make $50,000 a year, suddenly you feel like, oh, you should be driving in a Mercedes. Suddenly you feel like, oh, I should be living in a sky-rise penthouse. Oh, you know what? I bought my friend Beats for Christmas last year. This year, I'm gonna buy her a Louis Vuitton purse. It's like, you don't suddenly learn how to manage money when you get more of it. So I don't like that she said that. I really wish that with these videos, at the end of it, maybe a financial advisor could come in and give them maybe a plan on how to get out of debt, how to start spending a little bit more wisely, and maybe how to get onto a path of financial independence. I'm not a financial advisor. I just really love speaking about money and personal finances and speaking on the topic of financial independence. But if this was my friend, there are some things that I would suggest. Number one, you need a side hustle. Let's figure out how you can bring in some more cash, because $15K is not cutting it. Your credit card debt, personal credit card debt, is more than a third of your income. So we need to figure out a plan on how we're gonna get that lower and gone. By doing so, you need a side hustle, because the equation is how much money you make and how much money you spend. There should be a gap. If the gap is too close together, then you need to figure out a way to make more money and spend less, so that there's enough of a gap there so that you can live comfortably. I would also say, sis, we need to figure out a way for you to be comfortably frugal. It's not let's go on trips and let's buy $250 gifts for friends and let's spend $71 on cupcakes. It's not necessary. And then I would also suggest that she tracks her budgets, because to me, it seems like she's living above her means every month. She's making $15K a year, but what that all added up to seemed like it was way higher than $1K a month. She said, I have $1K a month left over to spend. And it just seemed like, you see right there, total ATM and debit withdrawals, $1,543. So she says that she only has $1,000 to spend, but she's spending $1,500 a month. So she's going over her means every single month. So she needs to find a way to live below her means. If that means moving in with your parents again, then it is what it is. If that means picking up a side hustle so that you have more means to live below, then that's what it is as well. But overall, those were my thoughts in regards to her spending habits. I really hope that since this has come out, she's found full-time work, because she did say she was looking for full-time work, and I hope that she's found a way to kind of manage her money better so that she isn't spending so recklessly. But I would love to know what you guys thought of this video. Let me know your comments down below. Let's get some discussion popping down below. Let me know what you thought, and if there's another video that you would love for me to react to. Also, if you haven't already liked this video, you made it to the end of the video, you might as well like the video and subscribe, because it's free 99. I love you guys so much. Love you to the moon and back. Be true to you. Mwah. Bye.